The same compound in white paint is in your mouth right now. Not near your mouth. Not on your hands. In your mouth. Inside the candy coating. Inside the gum. Inside the white capsule you swallowed this morning with your vitamins. The compound is identical. The formula that makes your wall white and the formula that makes your candy white are the same thing. 36 countries looked at that fact and banned it from food. The United States looked at that fact and called it safe. The ingredient is called titanium dioxide. You have almost certainly eaten it this week. It has no nutritional value. It adds no flavor. It performs one function. It makes food look whiter. Whiter candy, whiter frosting, whiter gum, whiter sauce, whiter supplement capsules. The European Union banned it from food in 2022. France banned it 2 years before that. Saudi Arabia banned it. Israel banned it. Jordan banned it. Every one of those decisions came after the same body of research. The FDA reviewed that same research and issued its conclusion, not through a published scientific document, but through a written statement delivered to the trade association representing the companies that manufacture and sell titanium dioxide. The last time the FDA conducted a formal safety review of this compound was 1973, more than 50 years ago, before nanoparticle science existed as a field. Before anyone knew that a portion of this compound passes through the wall of your intestine, enters your bloodstream, and accumulates in your organs, because your body has no efficient mechanism to remove it. By the end of this video, you will know exactly which products carry it. You will know what to look for on a label, including the label claim that sounds like it protects you but legally does not cover this compound at all. And you will know what the FDA's word safe actually means in this specific case, and what it does not mean. 3 pieces of information. This video gives you all 3. When you eat something containing titanium dioxide, most of it moves through your digestive tract and exits unchanged. That is the part the FDA focuses on. Here is the part the FDA does not address. A portion of the compound, specifically the particles small enough to be classified at the nanoscale, does not exit. Those particles cross the intestinal wall. They enter your bloodstream. They travel. They settle in organs, and they stay. When the FDA approved titanium dioxide for food in 1966, the official scientific position was that it was inert, that it passed through the body completely unchanged and was excreted without being absorbed. A 1963 industry study, submitted as part of the original approval petition, already showed absorption in young rats. That finding did not change the approval. What the compound does once it is inside the body is now documented. It interacts with the bacterial population in your intestine. Research has shown that regular exposure shifts the balance of those bacteria, increasing the strains associated with inflammation, decreasing the ones associated with immune regulation. The bacterial pattern it produces is the same pattern found in patients with inflammatory bowel disease. Research published in peer-reviewed literature found that titanium dioxide promotes biofilm formation on the lining of the colon. Biofilm attachment to the colonic wall is directly correlated with colorectal cancer. One long-term animal study found that 100 days of exposure to food-grade titanium dioxide initiated precancerous cellular changes in the colon, changes that researchers stated should be considered in risk assessments for colorectal cancer in humans. A 2020 study found titanium dioxide nanoparticles on the fetal side of the human placenta and in the first stool of newborns, demonstrating for the first time that these particles move from a pregnant woman's body into her unborn child. The FDA has not updated its safety assessment since 1973. None of this research existed then. If you have experienced unexplained digestive inflammation, bloating without a clear trigger, gut discomfort that comes and goes, you are unlikely to have connected it to a white powder in a candy shell. The mechanism does not announce itself. It accumulates below the threshold of anything you would notice in a single meal. And it has been accumulating in your body since childhood. Titanium dioxide was produced industrially beginning in 1916, 50 years of use in paint, paper, and plastics before the food industry adopted it. The food industry adopted it for the same reason the paint industry did. It was brilliant white, stable across heat and acidity, and cheap. The FDA approved it as a color additive in 1966. By the time any serious scientific question arose, it was embedded in thousands of products. The first significant signal came in 2006 when the International Agency for Research on Cancer classified titanium dioxide as a possible carcinogen based on animal studies, and that classification applied only to inhalation, not to food. The door it opened was this. Researchers began asking whether the same particles that caused damage in lungs could cause damage when ingested. In 2017, French researchers published findings that food-grade titanium dioxide disrupted immune function in the intestine and initiated precancerous changes in the colon of rats. France's Food Safety Agency reviewed those findings. By April 2019, the French government had signed a decree suspending all food sales containing titanium dioxide, effective January 2020. The decree did not claim proof of harm. It applied a different standard. When a substance with no nutritional value cannot be confirmed safe, the default is removal. The Titanium Dioxide Manufacturers Association, the trade group representing the companies whose product is in your paint and your candy coating simultaneously, called the French decision unjustified and asked the European Commission to overrule it. The European Commission asked the European Food Safety Authority to conduct a new review instead. In May 2021, that review concluded that titanium dioxide could no longer be considered safe as a food additive. The critical finding was that the compound had the potential to induce DNA strand breaks and chromosomal damage, and that no safe threshold could be established. No threshold meant no dose the panel could point to and say, below this, the damage does not occur. The European Union banned it from food 8 months later. Mars reformulated Skittles for European markets. The American formula did not change. The FDA reviewed the European findings and communicated its position, not through a published assessment, but through a written statement sent to the manufacturer's own trade association. The manufacturers published that statement on their website. It said the compound was still safe. Here is what you were told. The FDA reviews food ingredients. When new science emerges, the FDA updates its position. When a substance cannot be confirmed safe, the FDA acts. Here is what is actually true. The FDA's last formal safety review of titanium dioxide in food was conducted in 1973, when the official scientific position was that none of it was absorbed by the body. That position has since been proven incorrect. The FDA is aware of this. Its response to the European ban was not a new assessment. It was a statement delivered through the manufacturers saying the compound remained safe under current conditions, conditions set in 1966, based on science that no longer reflects what the compound actually does inside the body. A coalition of 5 public health organizations filed a formal petition in 2023 demanding a new review. As of early 2025, no decision had been issued. Now, the second layer. You were told the label tells you what is in your food. That is technically true. The FDA allows manufacturers to list titanium dioxide as artificial color, 2 words that tell you nothing about what compound you are actually consuming. A product with artificial color on the label may or may not contain titanium dioxide. You cannot tell from those 2 words. The compound does not have to appear by name. It can sit inside artificial color on a label that otherwise looks entirely standard, on a shelf in a store that has never mentioned it, sold to a child who will eat it today. Children consume more of this compound per pound of body weight than adults do because they eat more candy and swallow more white-shelled vitamins. Their bodies are smaller. Their tolerances are lower. The FDA's approved limit is 1% of the food's total weight, a threshold set in 1966 on the assumption that none of it was absorbed. In a single piece of white-coated candy, 1% means more titanium dioxide than most people would choose to eat if the label named it directly. The label does not name it directly. It says artificial color. And the agency that set that rule has not reviewed whether it is still appropriate in more than 50 years. The core problem fits in one sentence. A compound added to food purely to make it look whiter with no nutritional value is accumulating in human bodies, has been found in the placentas of pregnant women, and the agency responsible for reviewing its safety has not done so since before nanoparticle science existed. Here is what you do with that today. First, read the ingredients list, not the front of the package. You are looking for 2 things. The first is titanium dioxide written out by name. It will appear exactly like that when manufacturers choose to list it specifically. The second is artificial color with no further detail. When a label says artificial color without specifying which one, you cannot confirm from that label alone whether titanium dioxide is present. The categories where it appears most often: white-coated candies, chewing gum, powdered donuts, marshmallows, white frosting, salad dressings, and supplement capsules with white or opaque shells. These are not specialty products. They are standard items in nearly every grocery store. Second, check supplement capsules specifically. The supplement inside a capsule may be entirely clean. The shell is a separate ingredient. White and opaque capsule shells are a common delivery vehicle for titanium dioxide. Look for products that explicitly state titanium dioxide free on the label, or that list vegetable capsule with a full ingredients breakdown that you can read line by line. Third, the front of package claim, "No artificial colors," does not protect you here. This is the claim that sounds like it covers the problem. It does not. titanium dioxide is classified by the FDA as a color additive, not as an artificial color in the synthetic dye category that most no artificial colors claims are written to exclude. A product can carry the claim, no artificial colors, and legally still contain titanium dioxide. The only language that covers it is titanium dioxide free, stated explicitly, or an ingredients list where you have confirmed the absence yourself. Fourth, if you have children, start here before anywhere else. The products children consume most, white-coated candy, chewing gum, gummy vitamins with white shells, are the products where this compound is most concentrated. Children receive a higher dose relative to their body weight. The science on what accumulating nanoparticles do to a developing body is not settled. That unsettled science is exactly the reason 36 countries applied the precautionary standard. The United States applied a different standard, stay the course until harm is proven. Both are policy decisions. Neither is science. What is science? The compound accumulates. It crosses the placenta. It alters the bacteria in your gut. And the label is allowed to call it artificial color. 36 countries removed it from food. Yours still puts it in candy.